So let's jump right into our tarot workshop. And today we're looking at the Three of Swords. And a lot of people find this card quite daunting because it kind of looks a bit, ooh, doesn't it? It is a card of emotional pain. But what I would like to say about this card is it talks about something that's already happened. So this is a card not of the future, but more of its past, okay? So it's gone past and you're dealing with it as best you possibly can, or as best one possibly can after heartbreak. It's quite a sad card, and the piercing swords going through the heart says it all, doesn't it? The clouds are showing there's no clarity. You know, we're feeling that we've had this done to us and we don't quite know how to navigate the way going forwards. So it's about loss and it's about heartbreak. You know, we were heartbroken. Something in the past, see, I've written it there for you, is causing a situation to make somebody feel that, you know, it's haunting them, it's going round and round. So it's about previous upsets and a situation that's already happened that's coming to a conclusion. So you can end up feeling heartbroken, even though it's past, you know, it's still carrying that burden. And that's a card of difficulties, things that make us feel sad, things that make us feel pain, and as if our heart is actually broken. The painful season will pass. It's temporary. It's the cycle of life. Something has brought you sorrow. Something has brought you pain. And this painful time is a test of your inner strength. We can find it very hard to move on from the recent loss or heartbreak that we have encountered. And we can still carry that suffering from an earlier emotional loss around with us into the present or the current situation. Okay, it's sometimes people do see it as third parties if that's what it means to you. Remember to use your intuition, okay? Because what you're thinking, feeling, and seeing is a huge part of being able to read the cards. It's good to have the meanings because it gives you confidence, and it's really nice to know the symbology that goes with the cards and what it means. It gives you that confidence, it gives you that vibe. But memorising a lot of meanings doesn't particularly help. And so what I'll be doing going forwards is, hopefully the courses will be available for you to actually study in depth all of the symbology of the cards. But also I want to do some spotlight courses where we can actually focus and ask questions and answers about the cards and maybe pair up with each other and kind of ask, what is it that we actually see in that card? And what are you feeling? What are you feeling when you see this? Well, it's not, hey, happy days, is it? It's like, oh my goodness, look at that. Feel for that person. It invokes feelings, emotions, sadness, and it makes us actually feel that, gosh, you know, life can be difficult, you know, it can be challenging. So if you look at it as a third party, Nicola, nothing wrong with that at all. You know, and it's also anything that you get from your intuition, don't ignore it. And, you know, sometimes you might actually go, gosh, you're still in the clouds, you've got no clarity. You could see the clouds now. You could actually go, hold on a minute, you know, those swords can cut both ways, you know. And what does that mean? Well, the sword's double-edged. And when we've got the edge of the sword there, we can actually sometimes be all right and sometimes not be all right, you know. There's duality to it. And it's a feeling with the sword of it always not being fair, you know, as in that it cuts both ways. And it's cutting. And just always remember that swords, when we're doing the swords, it's all about the communication that goes on here in our head, in our mind, and our thinking, and the way that we view reality. So whatever you're getting that comes in and gives you that opportunity to pick something up, and if it's a third party, that's fine. You know, there's other cards that can mean that, but if that's your card of saying that's a third party, then that's absolutely fine. your intuition will guide you. You know, when you get that card and it comes out for someone, you might see something different. You might go, oh my gosh, there was so much love, there was so much passion, or you've got so much strength. Why the red? What does the red mean? You know, if you think of red, what does it make you think of? You know, does it make you think passion, stop, danger, what? You know, red light, you know, stop. What does it mean? Or does it mean, you know, your base chakra, which is giving you the power, which is giving you the energy? Some people see red as their favourite colour, you know, so it's a time of somebody that they are associating as a favourite of theirs. Lots and lots of things that it can actually mean. And using your intuition, unfortunately, I think the Three of Swords is one of those cards that there's, no matter what deck we actually use, we can always pick up the same thing: sorrow, pain, heartbreak, you know. But it is a card of the past and how it's left us, and the fact that we're moving through it, and it's a temporary situation. It will change. It won't be like that always, is what we're saying. We're not saying, oh, it's temporary, it'll go away. It will eventually. Everything passes eventually, you know, and the brighter side will come. The clouds will clear, and the clarity will come back in again into your thinking, into your conversations that you have with others, into the communication that you get. Again, it's not something that's physical, but we've all had it, haven't we? It's all really painful. We all really know, gosh, what it's like to feel like that. As in, for whatever our personal reasons are, it's all part of the cycle of life. And the tarot cards try and help us and give us some guidance into those times so that we can actually see it from a different perspective, get some guidance from it, gain some clarity, look at things maybe in a unique or different way. Okay, right. Any questions? Has anybody got any questions there? Okay, I'm just going to move the chair a little bit. I'm going to have to get myself a little bit higher. Anybody want to ask a question? No? Okay, let's move on then, so that we can kind of keep this on track and bullet point. The courses, by the way, that I said I will actually do going forwards, would be nice to do some lives where we can do spotlights, where we can do some pairs and work out spreads. There's different kinds of spreads, but I can only use the ones that I actually believe in myself and the ones that I use. And I can show you some small variations of that using less or more cards, as the case may be. Obviously, less to start off with. So here we go with the Four of Swords. The swords are heavy, aren't they? Because it's all about the mental capacity. It's all about the intellect. It's all about the psychological. And it's all about how we are communicating either with other people or to ourselves in our thoughts. Four of Swords. Okay, this, if we look at this card, is showing a fellow laid upon what looks like a slab, maybe a mortuary slab, maybe a gosh, I can't think of the word now. Tomb. You know, where you lay on a slab and you are waiting. Certainly looks a bit uncomfortable there. There's no blankets or anything like that, but it represents the fact that he has the Three of Swords above him. And next to that is a stained glass window. And the stained glass window represents light, inspiration, colour, and maybe religious figures that are in that stained glass window to show that we are being supported by maybe something beyond the now, you know. And underneath we can see our figure in the diagram, in the card, I beg your pardon. The figure is laid upon this slab, and we've got another sword there, and that's underneath. Now, there's a school of thought here that says that's the Three of Swords that we just talked about above him, and that now he is bringing in that fourth sword in order to be able to figure it out. Okay, so by this example in this card of this fellow laying down, it is showing that he needs to recoup, needs to recover, he needs to get over what's happened, and he needs to do nothing to bring himself into a different perspective, to process, and to be able to gain his strength and put that back into reserve. So it's a period of rest. It's a time to actually allow the mind, the body, the spirit, and the emotions to heal. A time to contemplate, to do nothing, to be in exile, to take oneself completely away, to feel loneliness, and sometimes we can quite like being alone, or to actually say, gosh, it's a time of feeling as if I don't want to be alone, but I feel lonely, whichever. So, these are bullet point meanings that you can say, well, this is what I'm feeling when I actually read, say Nicola was reading for Katie, or Katie was actually saying, right, Nicola, for you, I think you need some time out. I think you need to go into sanctuary and lie down and recover. So that's what I'm hoping to actually achieve as we carry on our workshops and just have a little go at sort of having a read. And I'm here to actually encourage you to say what you think, say what you feel, because nothing is right, nothing is wrong, and to help you figure it out and navigate your way. But we'll only want to try and do that because we feel that we've got some sort of meaning and understanding, or looking at the cards differently, intuitively, or with the meanings, or with the feelings. Because what the meanings are and what the feelings are can be two very, very different things. So lie down and recover. Time of no action. A time to actually let your thoughts roll. Sometimes it's really good to actually go into a bit of a trance, and people say, oh, I can't go into a trance. Yes, you can. We go into a trance several times a day without even realising it's where we're sort of humming and awing and maybe just waiting for the water to fill up as we're washing up, or as we're actually just reading something and we look up and we gaze at the wall, or we're listening to the television and we're not really taking it in and we don't really know what we've just heard or seen. It's all where we just go into small little trances all the time, which allows us some time out to let things roll, to let things just pass us by. And a good way of actually looking at it is to imagine that, say you were going to go and stand by the side of a road, and things happen on the road, it gets busy or it gets quiet, and you feel, gosh, maybe I should get involved in that. No, just watch. See what's happening. How many cars are coming along? How many trucks are coming along? Is it getting busy? Is something happening? Is somebody kind of getting angry with frustration of the traffic not moving? Is it delayed? Is it going too fast? Watch. Just watching. Just watching. Watching the world go by. Okay. Right. Sorry. Sometimes my screen just has an update come up on it, so just got rid of that. So it's about a period of retreat. Sometimes we can all retreat and go into a place where we just feel that we need to allow ourselves to do nothing, to be allowed to just recoup, recover, replenish, gain a different perspective, maybe go into our own thoughts, feelings, maybe to actually really go into a place where we allow ourselves to get over whatever it is that we feel that we need a rest from, and to really, sometimes people say it's a good thing to actually lay down and rest, and even if you don't sleep, still resting. And sometimes people say, right, okay, one of the good things you can do is if something's bothering you or something's annoying you, or you are feeling that you've got this burden and the weight is completely on your shoulders, that one of the best things you can possibly do is to actually allow that to have the time for you to think about that, for you to go into great detail in that in your mind, and in some way you are in a position then to be able to say, that's enough, I don't want to think about that anymore. I've thought about it constantly and I'm exhausted, so now I'm going to have a rest from that. Okay, so there is a stillness, there is an isolation in this, and there is a solitude. And sometimes we may need to take to our bed to have that rest that I was talking about. It's not always about sleep. Okay? Right. Oh, hi, Victor. You missed Friday. Because of life itself, but great to learn more about the Four of Swords. You can always watch the catch-ups, Victor. I always try and edit it out a little bit so that people can watch as much highlights as possible, but that takes so long, I can tell you. But I really do put the catch-up, and people then can watch it, because on a live, people go, oh gosh, you've not uploaded if they didn't see the live. Sometimes people go back in and watch the lives, but I always make it available that it's been loaded up as a current video on YouTube, and then I try and share it as much as I can on Facebook. And the one at Friday was absolutely fantastic. We had such a great vibe, and goodness, I think I hit the biggest amount of views and comments. I did actually post it and put it on Facebook and on YouTube. I think I put it on YouTube to say how many we had. I forget now, but it was phenomenal. And thank you all so much. That was all down to your comments and people that actually took part in that, and that's what it's all about. And I never ever schedule the tarot workshop until kind of last knockings, because I've got to fit that one in. But Fridays, that's our complete sort of sacred space of Friday at 5 or 5:30, isn't it? You take them in and like to see how the December Sag will the rest of the month. Yeah. If you can join us, Victor, and come and ask a question, it'll be absolutely fantastic on Fridays, usually 5:30. Sometimes I hop on at 5 o'clock, just depends. It's the weather and how it allows me, or doesn't, whether we've got storms, to be able, bear with me, can't get rid of this. Oh, goodness, it's gone over my box. How it allows me, weather permitting, sometimes the storms just takes the internet away. So if I know that that's likely, like today, I thought I'd jump on early because I don't know what the rest of the week holds, and fingers crossed for Friday. Okay. Yeah, we have fun on Fridays. And Victoria wrote in, and I sent her the video for meditation, and I just said, try it. And she wrote back, and I sent good wishes from you, Nicola, from Belinda, who also sent a personal message and asked me to pass that on to Victoria. And there was somebody else that passed out, Jean Marie. Yeah. So, yeah, she's doing much better. Unfortunately, there was a death in the family that was an uncle, but I think they were very close. So it's a bit of a tough time. But it was expected, and unfortunately, of an age where these things happen. But she watched the meditation, and that'll be available soon. Can everybody kind of just keep their fingers crossed for me? I know that's crazy. I'm looking at your lives, but just send me a little bit of good wishes, because I am really hoping to get this website done. I've done everything I can this year to get it up so that these courses are going to be available for you all at a very, very reasonable cost, and little bundles for you to kind of check into. You've got the freebies here, but I go into much more detail, and it's so much fun. It's all recorded, so you can take it at your own time, but really is the last 30 years of my work that I've put together. And this website has just been, it's not my current web developer, it's the new one that put the courses onto a website, which is a lot of work, but he has promised me in good faith it's going to be this day, that day, and it's never happened. And he said it's going to be tomorrow, so I won't hold my breath. I'm not actually convinced by that, but hopefully we'll have something for the new year. So if you can keep your fingers crossed for me for New Year, that's more realistic. Yeah. Oh, Nicola, I'm so sorry. Your father-in-law is in hospital. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. And our thoughts and healing go out to your father-in-law and obviously your husband. Okay, it's not an easy time, is it, folks? You know, it's not an easy time. Okay, gosh, yes, and she's doing great. She's doing great. She said that meditation will be available for you to be able to connect with your guides. But I knew, even though she didn't connect with guides, that it would rebalance her chakras. And she said it was amazing. And she had a good old cry after Friday because she actually felt overwhelmed. It was relief. That's what she said. It was just pure relief. And then complete satisfaction of actually going, gosh, she's found something that's meaningful and she'll pop in here whenever she can. So I've got some Three of Swords and Four of Swords before we finish. I always like to show you some decks that I've got. They're not all the same, of course, and I'm still working my way through. There's our Three of Swords, okay? And in that picture, you can see that we've got a lady there. They're all so different, you see. Will I see Three of Hearts? Always get that bleeding heart feeling. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. The bleeding heart. Yeah. Heartbreak. Sorry, you might have missed that one, Victor. I did the Three and the Four of Swords today, so you can watch it on the replay, as in at some point on YouTube, when it actually loads up after the live, available, and I will put my version of it on tomorrow at some point once I've got time to edit it. It won't be until later on tomorrow. But Three of Swords. So yeah, let's just take a look at this. And this is a deck called the Romantic deck from Karen Mahony and Alex Ukolov. It's the Romantic Victorian Tarot, and I think they are called Baba Prague. They've changed the name a couple of times, but I will actually try and note that in the description in YouTube. If I forget, do remind me. Okay, so Three of Swords in this case, we have this lady here. She's showing that, you know, she's upset. And there's the faithful, loyal dog actually looking, gosh, what can I do? I'm your loyal and faithful friend here. I'm faithful and loyal to you, and I'm offering my comfort and support. Animals feel it, don't they? They know. What's the difference between these sort of decks and oracle cards? Good question. Okay, right, I'll answer that in a mo. I'm just going to do this and then I'll answer that question. So this is the Morgan Greer deck. Gosh, I've had this deck a long time. I haven't got the box for that. I have, but it's huge because it comes with the book and it's on my bookshelf and I didn't get time to actually pull that out. That's the Morgan Greer deck. Really colourful, very matte sort of finish on that, but a little bit different in the respect of you've got the clouds that are very dark colours, so you see how it speaks to you differently. The swords have got some gold and some texture there, so that can really mean something. Look at that. Drips of blood. Or is it the heart that's actually melting? Depends, doesn't it? You're the reader. You're the one that will actually kind of go, my goodness. Got the sunshine behind. Got the blue skies behind. And we've got this black cloud. Okay, so you could look at that as the black clouds are lifting and the sun will shine again. Okay, could look at the passion there. Could look, as Victor said, the bleeding heart. Okay, and then we have got the Winter Waite deck, Three of Swords, icy, you know, really lovely sort of winter scene there in the background, and the snow on the heart, or there's maybe that's ice there, piercing the heart again. So this one's really different. This is kind of like real life, showing you, gosh, that person's upset. Okay. Sorry, it's not about readings, William Paul Shepherd. I'm not reading today. Fridays, darling, at 5:30. Every Friday at 5:30. This is Tarot Tuition, where we learn how to look at the meanings and some of the feelings in this tarot workshop about the cards. I will do that. I'm always mixing that card with different cards, but when I looked into it, I needed it. It's a grieving card. Yeah, one deck was so speckled out for me. Yeah. No problem, William. You're welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay. I'm almost done. Lovely to meet you. Please pop in and see us on Friday, and we'd love to have you along. But deck one, Anne-Marie, that card felt for me Good, isn't it? Full of emotion. That's why I want to show you different decks. Got many decks, and I just wanted to show you. Gosh, I was in such a rush today because trying to do whatever. I got a lot of readings over the weekend. Bonkers it was until late last night from 7 in the morning. Same this morning, and just before I came on, finished a reading, managed to make a thumbnail, put on a bit of slap, and here I am. And I waited for my computer that was very slow. It's a new computer. It's just slow starting up. So, yeah, full of meaning, full of feeling. I'm reading deck 1. You need to get it. Okay. Hold on a moment. It's not on the shelf there behind me. It's going to be in my office downstairs. Yeah. It's absolutely lovely, isn't it? I'll show you some more images of that. Right, Nicola, it spoke to you. Hi, Nitin. Are you aware that this is actually not about readings? We are looking at the meanings of the cards. It's a tarot workshop. You're welcome to ask a question if you want to learn a little bit about tarot. Okay, so we've got a few people joining us. I think that people think that it's always readings. Today is our workshop. So if you want to join in the workshop, Nitin, you're welcome. Yeah? No, it's not about asking questions unless it's relating to... Bear with me. The screen just came up again. I've just got rid of it completely. Chrome just refreshing itself. Nitin, if it's a question about wanting to learn the tarot cards, you can, yes. But if it's a question that you want me to read for you, I'm afraid not today. It's Fridays that I do that, okay? So, wait to get in next time. But it's all good. That card spoke to you. Gosh, yes. But I don't know if he is asking for a reading, might be asking a question about the cards. I'm never sure, but I always kind of suspect. It's not all right, Nitin. It's if you want to ask about the cards, you can. But I got a feeling that you wanted a reading, and that's Friday at 5:30. So if you just kind of maybe join the groups and maybe put on. There are notifications. You're coming in from Facebook, I see. I think you can actually get notified from Facebook when I'm coming on. Yeah. He's got it, so that's lovely. So let us know. But if you've got a question about the cards, feel free. So yes, this is the Victorian, Bohemian Tarot Romantic. So it's the Victorian Romantic Tarot. It's absolutely beautiful. I loved it when I first got it. I've had that a long time. They still sell it. It's on Amazon. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Gosh, different places, Amazon. Even if you put in their name, Karen Mahony and Alex Ukolov. Yeah? Right, okay. Right. Can tarot cards reading be misinterpreted? Yes, of course. We are only the translators, and the cards are never wrong, but the interpretation may be. Sometimes what people do is they kind of go, gosh, I'm not quite sure what that means. What do you think if it means this or this? When people are learning, they have to really, when I was first learning, I was able to get some really good friends and say to them, can I practice on you? But you see, when I did it, I was at tarot school, and how it worked for me was very simply, we were able to pair up and we read for each other. And that's what I want to do with you, because the power of that is amazing. Then, once we got used to doing that, the teacher was watching. She'd walk around. There was 10 of us, so that was 5 pairs. And so she would come and say, what's that? What do you think you've missed? Come on, give me more, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's perfect. Or I think you're on the wrong track there. Pull another card or something like that. Very encouraging. But then what happened was, we were lucky enough then to be able, she used to have a blackboard outside the shop, and she put members of the public free readings with students. So once we got to read for each other, we're then in a position to be able to read for members of the public, and they knew it was students, and they knew that the teacher was watching, and they knew that she'd correct anything that was wrong. And your partner would go, I don't think that, I think this. So we really, it was great. We were never challenging each other. We would kind of go, I see this, I see that. And so therefore you would learn from your partner, and we swap partners every week, so it wasn't cliquey or anything like that. And then I went off and did all my tarot readings for my friends, and I'd say, right, you've got to value this in some way. I'm going to give you a free reading. You've asked for that. So you know what? Let's barter something. Sometimes it would be walk my dogs while I'm busy doing X, or, whatever. Sometimes they pay for my petrol, they give me a bottle of wine, or, turn around and something, buy you a nice cake or something. It was just a value appreciation. Hi, Facebook user. Not sure who you are. If you want to use Restream, we'll be able to know who you are. I'll be finishing this very shortly. I'm just showing in my tarot workshop the different kind of decks that all are the Three of Swords. So Victor wanted me to actually post that up. So Victor, bear with me a second. I will type that up. It's it's a beautiful deck, and right, I think you should get that. Okay, it should come up there from me at Restream, Romantic Victorian Tarot by Baba Prague. Yeah, big thank, no problem. And yeah, get me. Okay, look at this, Four of Swords. That's our Four of Swords in the Romantic Baba Prague deck. And this is the Morgan Greer. And this is the Winter Waite, which we couldn't leave out at the time of year that we've got. Is faith really important to get a good reading? Actually, yes, I think it is. Hi, Jano, how are you doing? This tarot workshop, you're welcome. How are you? If you want to learn anything about the tarot, please feel free to ask a question. And we are looking at these different decks. I today have gone through the meanings of the bullet point, key points in this workshop to help you understand the Three and the Four of Swords. Absolutely, they're really artistic. Nicola, I will actually answer your question. Right, the difference between tarot cards and oracle decks. Tarot cards are always 22 major arcana cards, and they have 56 minor cards. Those 56 minor cards there are four suits, and they are swords, and cups, and wands, and pentacles, or variations of that. Sometimes they're called rods. Sometimes, people use different names for them because they are doing something in their creative flair of how it connects. It can be known as crystals or emotions or whatever. But there's four decks, and they kind of relate to basic normal playing deck, like your spades and your clubs and your hearts and your diamonds. So there's the four suits representing the four elements of air, water, fire and earth. And they are known 1 to 10 as a pip deck. And then we get the court cards, and there are four court cards to each suit, so a total of 16. So you've got 16 court cards, and you've got four suits, and you've got 22 major arcana cards, Nicola. Now, an oracle deck can be any amount of cards, and generally I've seen them kind of be something like 40, 44, that kind of thing. And they are created so that the actual meaning of each card with the booklet that it comes with will give you the meaning of that card for that particular deck. So you may get the law of attraction deck or a manifestation deck, and therefore the meanings of those cards would be provided in that oracle deck by the person that created that oracle deck. But tarot cards always follow the traditional way of, I've just explained, the 22 major cards and the 56 minor cards. Okay, so they're very different. And do you need faith? I think you just need to feel connected, and I think you need to just look at it and be intuitive and go, what's speaking to me? What do I see in that card? You know, here, what stands out, and this for me is definitely this, you know, and then that, and another day it might be this, you know, whatever, okay? But there's our 4 of Swords from the Winter Waite deck. We've got the robins in there, which is lovely. We've got the red breast robin, which is lovely. So there's lots of different things going on in the deck, and symbolic is really important. Symbology is really important, should I say. Symbology is what can actually just blow your mind and make you kind of go, gosh, this is what I see. Here, this feels like, you know, we've got in the Morgan Greer deck, it's a knight, you know, he's got his helmet on, and then we've got, you know, some autumnal sort of images of what looks like acorn leaves. And we've got the plumage here, and we've got the swords passing through the clouds, and what is the night, and this looks like a church scene. And interestingly enough, we've got the arch window there that kind of would make you think that this lady is laying down in a place of rest in some sort of church or castle sort of image. And in all her finery, and if you look at her headgear there, you think, well, you know, she's somebody that she's not short of a few baubles. She's, you know, she's not dressed like a pauper. That looks like velvet that she's wearing. Do you see? You've got all the colours. So the colours might speak to you. Christina Perry. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what that message means. If you could expand on that, I'd love to know what you mean. Sorry. Abbreviations for your information. VOI. Okay, I'll leave it. So there. And asked about Kira. Jano, it's lovely to see you. We are not doing readings. It's a workshop, darling. It's about learning tarot. So if you want to come in on Friday, okay. This is a tarot workshop. I'm advertising on my banner that I do private readings because that's what helps make my bread and butter. It is who I am, and it is how I survive. And I've done it for 30 years, and I'm just sharing what I know about tarot as a free workshop here. Sorry, Jano. If you want to come in on Friday, darling, 5:30, I'd love to see you. Will you come back? Sorry, it's just not appropriate that I answer it there today because it gets very sort of mixed up. Got to keep it separate. It's lovely to see you, and thank you so much for coming back. Okay, listen, do you need to have faith? Well, it helps, doesn't it? Faith in anything always helps. So, yes, I think if you go in there and you're defensive or don't believe in it, it's not happening. Jano, thank you so much. Love to see you then. Put your notification on. You're coming in from YouTube. If you actually subscribe, I'd love that. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much. I'd love to see you then. So, Christiana, I beg your pardon, Perry. Sorry, still not quite sure of your message, and I'd love to answer it if it's something that I feel I could answer. So, different decks. Just for you, Victor, look, I'll just go through and move those. This is some more of the romantic deck. Aren't they just lovely? I'll put that on the weekend. Oh, you're welcome. Look at this. Nostalgia. When we get to that card, the children. Yeah? Page of Pentacles. Studying time. 8 of Pentacles. Carving out, you know, like the apprentice. 7 of Swords, you know. Romantic. Page of Cups. Knight of Wands. 2 of Pentacles. It's like my little Bichon. Actually, would anybody like to see the doggies up here over Christmas? I've got 9, so I can't bring them all up, but we'll try and actually maybe pop a little video on and maybe bring up Daisy and Scruffy, they're little ones. Okay, if you like doggies, and just let them say hi. They stand at the bottom of the stairs like this, waiting for me to come down, because normally when I do my readings, I'm in my office. This is the studio, and they're not allowed up here because they'll just make funny noises like snoring, and you'll think it's me. Four of Cups, look at that. Queen of Pentacles. I love that. Okay. So I can't go through them all with you, but, talk of the devil, it's time for me to go because they're making a noise. But the romantic deck, there's our Justice card, the Hermit, Death card, look at that. The Empress, love that. The World, amazing. Chariot. Look at that. You see how they can speak to you so differently from some of the decks that I use? It moves you. You connect with it differently. The Lovers, that's really nice. I just feel that she's looking up at, the sky going, oh God, help me. What's going on? And he's looking at her going, what are you doing? So you know what I mean? It speaks to you differently, and as a reader, you will get a different sort of reading because of the different decks that you use. To some degree, of course, basic sort of meaning, but it can inspire you. Look at that for the Tower. And the Magician. The Moon. And the Devil. High Priestess. Whew. And the Emperor. Okay, right, that's enough. Do you like that? I love it. If you look at these guys, Baba Prague decks, I've got quite a few of theirs. I'll bring them on and try and remember to actually show them while we're going through these, but they're great. I'm going to do an unboxing of something really, really different over the Christmas as a treat for us all. But you know what? You're going to have to help me. I want as much interaction on that one as I can. Why? Because it's so different. They've mixed everything up in the actual tarot cards. So the Emperor scene hasn't got the Emperor in. In comes, I can't even remember what it is, but in comes maybe the Hanged Man sitting on the Emperor's throne. So it's a real sort of, so you're going to really be able to see lots and lots of different things in that deck, okay? Sadly, you won't be able to stream with the deck, but for private readings, perfect. Okay. Can't you? Why, Victor? Have you got to use, well, you can answer me privately if you want to. They're lovely, aren't they? Absolutely lovely. So, yes, I'm just showing you in this workshop by using different decks how, as a reader, something can really speak to you, just like Victor said. Okay? Everybody really likes the Groovy Waite. Really, my aim is to help you find a deck that you enjoy, that may speak to you, that you want to work with, or get you started. Because sometimes people go, I don't like them. My first deck, I hated them. They were just, horrid sketchings, and all in French, and all sort of like swords, 10 swords just all bent around like bamboo. I can't do anything with this. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's got to mean something. It's got to connect here. Okay, Twitch are a bit sensitive to nakedness. Got it. Okay, right. Okay. Oh, there's quite a few in there, Victor, isn't there? Yeah, sorry. Maybe we'll have to kind of go, we're not using these, we're using these couple. Anyway, I get it. You'll have to teach me more about Twitch. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's workshop. Thanks for those that came in and wanted a reading and will come back in on Friday. I hope you actually stayed around to look at the cards and how we actually work with them a little bit. It's only a tiny taster, nothing too heavy, totally relaxed. Thanks for having me, and I'll see you soon for some more tarot workshop. Not sure when, but I'll catch you next week, and we'll catch up then. Until then, I'll see you on Friday for our live readings. All the best. Thanks for having me, and please do like, share, subscribe, anywhere that you can, where people will enjoy and appreciate the fact that they can learn a little bit more about the tarot.